first public event. We've been doing this for a year. We donate art supplies and instruction to people, as you can see. I want to thank special people for coming. Our community partners who are here, our artists, our founding Share Art Heal artists, thank you. And I want to thank Arts of People Gallery. This is a very special place and we're really proud to be here. Thank you. So this is just the beginning. We started strong and we're going to continue strong. Since it's our first year, we have our first awards to give out. I'd like to introduce you to Elizabeth Hendley. Elizabeth is the art therapist and Elizabeth has been with us since the beginning. Our first 3 days I took art supplies to Del Children's and to Age of Central Texas and to Arc of the Arts so that we hit all of our age groups, which is everybody. And Elizabeth has been there and given us some great advice. She's advised us on our art kits and has helped with art building days and has helped with so many things. So we have an award for you, Elizabeth. It's our Luminary Award, and our Luminary Award is for inspiring, influencing, and giving light to others. Elizabeth Hendley is the 2015 recipient. Thank you.
Did you want me to say anything? Oh, no, okay. Well, so for those of you who don't know, I work at Del Children's Medical Center. I'm the art therapist there, and I'm just so blessed to work in this role. As an art therapist, my role there is to really just give the kids an opportunity and a safe space to express what they're going through. So sometimes that's just wanting to kind of get away from the hospital a little bit and into their art. Sometimes it's about pain management. Sometimes it's about processing a trauma, like if something really horrible has happened. You know, it's really hard to talk about even for adults. And so, you know, with kids especially, they don't really have the vocabulary to really express that sometimes. And so the art really helps them to get it out in some way. And then sometimes it's easier to talk about it once it's out there. So I work with a variety of different diagnoses and lots of different kids. And I just really have always enjoyed art and sharing it with others. And I'm just so happy that there are organizations like JETS, like Share Art Heal, that understand the healing power of art and also are promoting this mission of just really helping people to heal and to express themselves, whether it's a difficult time or a beautiful time. Art is really powerful. So I'm just so happy that there are other people that know that and are doing these wonderful things. And I'm so happy that I was able to invite one of my patients, Michaela, and her mom are here. And I won't spoil their story, but I just want to tell you that from my perspective, I've known Michaela since she was 9 years old. And over the years, I've just seen so much growth and so much maturity and so much beauty and inspiration from her and her family. And I just really have been privileged to work with her for all those years. And I'm so happy to introduce them to you. So here's Elena and Michaela.
Well, I won't make Michaela come up here because Michaela doesn't do crowds. I do the crowds for her. That's kind of how our tag team works. But when Jet asked if I would say something, he said, take all the time you want. And I thought, clearly you don't know us because I can talk forever and we have a really long story. So I'll just kind of give you the nutshell. So Michaela was 9 when she was diagnosed. She has 2 incurable brain diseases. Prior to that, she was a perfectly normal, healthy kid. So she knows what it's like to be healthy and she knows what it's like to be sick. She basically woke up one day with a headache that never went away. And I think all moms can relate when I say I knew something wasn't right. This wasn't just a headache. Something was really wrong. About a month later, she had her first MRI, and the doctors came back and said, we're so sorry. A couple months after that, she had her first brain surgery, and then about 6 months after that, she was diagnosed with a second brain disease. So November will mark 4 years since she was diagnosed, and we've had 28 brain surgeries in 4 years. So we know a thing or two about pain. Michaela never ceases to amaze me. I always cry when I talk about her. I think at this point in our journey, doctors never anticipated Michaela to be as high functioning as she is. She goes to normal school like normal kids. Our goal is to treat her like she's normal and preserve that quality of life for just as long as we can. She's defeated all the odds and proven them all wrong, and here we are all these years later, still acting like a normal kiddo. So what started for us as art therapy was actually in the hospital with Elizabeth. Because Michaela's diseases are incurable, we do narcotics pretty frequently, obviously, and we do them from home as well to help manage her pain. Those present a slew of problems, especially in a child. Everything from addiction to kidney failure to all kinds of stuff. So it was really important to us that we keep her off of them or at a very low dosage. So we started art therapy, and one of the things that we do in the hospital pretty frequently is called ICP monitoring. And what that is part of Michaela's condition is that her body cannot produce or reabsorb spinal fluid like a normal person anymore. So she either has too much and she can have an aneurysm and die, or she produces not enough and can have a stroke. So both ends of the spectrum are very bad, and there's nothing to kind of regulate that very well right now. So we do this ICP monitoring, which is a monitor that it goes in her head, so she actually has a burr hole permanently drilled in her skull. A monitor goes in, a wire comes out of her head and plugs into a machine, and we can monitor that pressure around her brain externally. What's interesting about that is that when we do this monitoring, and we do it all the time, we watch her numbers kind of go all over the place. So we watch her go from, oh my God, is she going to have an aneurysm, to what if she has a stroke? And we kind of watch that whole fluctuation in between. Elizabeth would come in and sit with Michaela and paint with her, and Elizabeth and I could watch this monitor where Michaela couldn't see it, because we're mean like that. We just won't let her watch her own numbers. And we could watch these numbers stabilize as she was painting. And at first I thought, I'll be honest, we spent a lot of time in the hospital, and so, this whole science, medical, fluky thing, I'm very leery, and I thought, oh, this is just a fluke. And then Michaela would stop painting and start talking to Elizabeth about something, and we would watch these numbers just go all over the place again. And Elizabeth would say, Michaela, you need to start painting. And so she'd start, and then slowly we would watch these numbers stabilize. So what was happening is really we were watching her brain change as she was doing art. And after the first few times of her doing that, I thought, there might be something to this. And so we would call neurosurgeons in and we would say, look at this. Like, there's something to this painting thing. We're watching her brain change. And even they, in all of their experience, could not explain this to us. So what we ended up doing is we took that art therapy home with us and we started doing it from home. So right now, even after all these surgeries and all, both brain diseases, Michaela doesn't use any narcotics at home anymore. The only time we use them is right after surgeries, obviously. In lieu of those narcotics, we do art therapy. So she started the watercolor paintings. They were pretty popular. Everybody wanted one, so we thought that's great. She started making the origami, and she can only make cranes. Everyone always asks, what all can you make? She can only make cranes. And kind of the legend of that is, there's a Japanese legend that if you make 1,000 paper cranes, you get a miracle. And so that's really what it started for Michaela, is because both of her diseases are incurable. Not only do we rely on doctors to help her, we rely on our faith, we rely on God to help her, but we also rely on some little legends every now and then. It can't hurt, right? So she makes these cranes and she sells them. They're pretty popular. They're gorgeous, strung all together. So when we were asked to be a part of this, for us, we don't really consider ourselves artists. I'm certainly not. I'm just kind of the brains behind it. I run our website and that kind of stuff. But I think for us, it was more about our message and just getting that message out there. We titled our business our Strength Project because it really was, for us, a lesson to the world in strength. I think we can all relate and say that we've been through some really hard times in our life. And strength is a choice and not a feeling. And that's really what we rely on, because every day we have to make the decision that today we're going to be strong, and today we're going to get up, and today we're going to fight this battle, even on the days that we really don't feel like we can. And I think that's an important lesson for everybody in life, because there's a lot of days that you just don't think you can do this anymore. And the reality is you can, because I have a 13-year-old little girl that's doing it every day. So we were very honored to be a part of this, and thank you so much for letting us come out and share our story with the world.
We're honored to have you here. Michaela, this is for you. You are the first recipient of the Courage, Faith, and Love Award, and that's inspired by your motto. This is for inspiring strength in others by sharing your story of courage, faith, and love. Thank you for being found and shared. And if you could have all of the founding artists, Sonali, Elizabeth, Catherine, come on up. We're going to take some photos. D. David, Dean.